Good day everyone, mabuhay! Let's dive into a topic that's becoming increasingly crucial for businesses everywhere, especially here in the Philippines, the environmental assessment techniques. We will going to explore how these techniques helps businesses not just comply with laws but also thrive in a world that's placing more and more value on sustainability and responsible business practices. I am Zarco and I'm excited to walk you through this journey. Environmental assessment is not just a box to check off. It is a key strategy in navigating the external factors that shapes the Philippines business landscape and impact business operations and success. But what exactly is environmental assessment? Environmental assessment, in simple terms, it is a process where we identify, estimate, and evaluate the potential environmental impacts of projects, helping businesses avoid risk and make decisions that are both smart and sustainable, prevent and reduce harmful effects on the environment that could affect the long-term sustainability of business in the country. Whether it's air pollution, water contamination, or noise disturbances, these are the external factors that businesses cannot ignore. Now, why should businesses care about environmental assessment? Let's break it down. First, compliance aligns with Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, and other environmental laws in the Philippines. Daghan man tang mga batas na related with nature like Clean Air Act at Clean Water Act here in the Philippines, and no business wants to face penalties or even worse, a complete shutdown. Next, the corporate social responsibility enhances a company's image by demonstrating commitment to environmental sustainability. So today's customers, investors, and even employees must prefer nga nag-care about the environment. Of course, risk management protects against lawsuits, fines, and reputational damage due to environmental violation. Addressing environmental risks early on is may iwasan ang mga lawsuit or damage sa reputation at malaking gastos or those expenses. Last, businesses that prioritize environmental protection may attract eco-conscious customers and investors. Being eco-friendly company can give you a competitive edge. So how do businesses go about assessing these environmental impacts? Well, natin four na key techniques and we're going to explore today. First, the checklist, the matrices, network diagrams, and overlay maps. Each has its strengths and the choice depends on the scale of your business and the complexity of the impacts. Let's start with the simplest tool, checklist. Businesses can use checklists to evaluate how their activities interact with the environment, reducing risk tied to external environmental regulation. It helps businesses preemptively address environmental concerns that could impact their legal standing and public perception. These are exactly what they sound like, a series of questions that help businesses evaluate potential environmental risk. Example, a construction project. The checklist might task, will this project release harmful gases into the air? Or could nearby water sources be contaminated by construction runoff? It's a straightforward way to identify risks early on. But remember, checklists might not capture the complexity of larger projects, so they're best suited by smaller scale operation or initial assessment. Next up, we have matrices. Companies can use matrices to assess and manage multiple environmental factors that may affect operations, profitability, and sustainability. The matrix enables businesses to evaluate the significance of external environmental risk and prioritize mitigation strategies. Now, this technique is a bit more sophisticated. Isipin mo lang isang grid kung saan sa isang axis nakalista ang mga bahagi ng proyekto like constructions, transportation, waste disposal, and sa kabilang axis naman ang mga environmental factors like air quality, water, wildlife, noise. By crossing these two, businesses can rate the potential impact on each factor like low, medium, or high. For example, a construction company might rate air quality impact as medium due to dust from building materials, but noise pollution could be high because of the heavy machinery. This helps businesses prioritize which impacts needs the most attention. Moving on to something even more visual, the network diagrams identifies how various environmental impacts can interact and amplify risk to the business. Helps businesses foresee how their operation can create broader environmental and social risks that could affect their profitability and social license to operate. These diagrams show how environmental factors interact with each other. For instance, a mining operation, the deforestation caused by mining could lead to soil erosion, which then leads to flooding, which disrupt local communities, and it's a chain reaction. Network diagrams help businesses identify these indirect and cumulative effects, ensuring they don't overlook the long-term consequences of their actions. And finally, we have overlay maps. Companies use overlay maps to identify environmentally sensitive areas where they should either avoid operation or apply stringent mitigation measures. Helps businesses align operations with environmental realities, ensuring long-term viability and reducing vulnerability of external environmental disruptions. This is a high-tech tool used mostly sa mga dagko nga businesses or projects that impact different geographic areas. By overlaying maps of land use, water resources, and wildlife habitats, businesses can visually pinpoint areas where their operations might cause harm. Halimbawa, isang real estate developer ang gumagamit ng overlay maps para malaman kung ang lote ay ang pagtatayuan nila ay prone sa flooding o base na endangered species na maaapektuhan. So, how do businesses choose the right technique? It depends on a few factors. First is scale and complexity of the project. Larger projects may need matrices or network diagrams. Mas malaki, mas kailangan ng sophisticated techniques. Next, the data availability. Some techniques like network diagram require detailed data to map out all the relationships. Third, the regulatory requirements. In some cases, the law might require specific techniques. Example, Environmental Compliance Certificate or ECC. Before a project can commence, businesses might need to secure an environmental compliance certificate from Department of Environment and Natural Resources. The ECC process may involve using overlay map to assess how the project affects land use and nature resources. Local government ordinance, hazardous waste management also, and the air and water quality standards. And of course, resource constraints, time and budget play a big role in deciding which method to use. By matching the technique to the project, businesses can get the most accurate assessment of their environmental impacts. To wrap it all up, environmental assessments are more than just a legal requirement. They are a strategic tool to businesses in the Philippines. They help companies avoid risk, build stronger reputation, and ultimately ensure long-term sustainability. By integrating environmental assessments into their decision-making processes, businesses not only comply with regulation, but also gain a competitive advantage in an increasingly eco-conscious world. Again, effective environmental assessment is not just a legal requirement. It is a moral imperative for promoting sustainability and protecting future generations. Thank you for your time, and remember, environmental responsibility is good for business, but it's better for the planet.